Stay dandy, baby. One of Inuyasha's biggest weaknesses in the original Inuyasha manga and anime series is that whenever there was a brand new moon, he would transform into a regular human, thus he couldn't use his super ultra-powered demon-style techniques. And that's basically what's going to be going on in the latest episode of Yashahime, and it's actually going to be afflicting the character of Towa, who goes through a transformation in this episode which leaves her vulnerable, and it just so happens that Konton, a member of the Four Perils, is trying to kill her and all of her friends in an effort to take control of the Rainbow Pearls. This was a pretty interesting episode, which actually took a premise from the original Inuyasha manga series, which never got a formal adaptation in the original anime version, and that's sort of been what they've been doing a lot of with Yashahime, taking a lot of these stories that didn't get a chance to be told, and doing them again here in the actual brand new version of Yashahime. And I'm gonna go ahead and just say right now, yeah, I've been off the grid for a couple weeks. I didn't have an opportunity to review the two previous episodes, and I do want to give my super quick thoughts on those because, man, it's holiday time. I am just running short on time, and I really had to, do my best just to watch this episode and review this one for you guys. But essentially, very similar to this episode, they're taking a lot of concepts which existed in the original Inuyasha, and they're bringing them back here. Case in point, we get to see the return of those two twin demons from that episode 2 episodes ago, where they're connected at the tail, and they're being controlled by some weird evil snake woman who wants to get revenge against Sesshomaru, and it's up to Towa and Setsuna to take them down. Of course, the big parallel here, it's all about what it means to be siblings and close to one another and blah, 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 but they actually managed to take these two demons down. Again, similar to that one episode with the massive spiky turtle demon, it's similar to what happened in the last series, the final act, where Moriomaru was taking all of these various body parts from different demons, and they sort of do it with these two demons here. They sort of bring them back, Kinka and Genka, and it's sort of just more of the same. Again, it didn't exactly blow me away or anything, but it did have a really solid conclusion with watching Setsuna, ignite her frickin' Naginata to take down all of her enemies. And again, it makes Towa and Setsuna get a little closer to one another, and it also shows that inexplicably, Setsuna seems to be getting her memories back without the aid of trying to take down this dream butterfly, and I don't know how this is going to come into play, but again, there it is. The next episode, I have to admit, didn't exactly blow me away. It really wasn't anything all that special. Basically, it was about the three girls helping out these two kids whose father had been killed by this poisonous lake. And at first, they try to make it seem like it's this one singular demon that's doing all of it, but it's actually two working together. A poisonous lake demon, which has the ability to travel to various bodies of water, and a massive snake demon. They team up, they fight all types of people and kill them, and then eventually the heroes come in and kill them. Blah, 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 blah. I'm sorry that was the super condensed version. I liked those episodes, but I didn't necessarily love them. I kind of liked some of the aspects they were going for, more so in the Kinka and Genka episode, especially with the parallels between Setsuna and Towa. But again, it's basically just more of the same. Here's a demon, let's solve a problem, let's kill it, rinse and repeat. The next episode is where things get a little more interesting, and yet again, still picking and pulling some of those classic elements from the original Inuyasha series, like the fact that whenever there's a new moon, these half-demons lose their powers. And this affects all three characters in a completely different way, which I found very fascinating. The entire episode was basically all about Konton hiring this sage-turned-apparition demon by the name of Nikosen, who is going to try and trap all of these girls in a massive amount of poison mist on a mountain. Now, it's a brand new moon, which is now affecting Towa. For some odd reason, it does not affect her in her world, and according to Miyoga, that's because she's originally from this time, so apparently it only affects her during this point. Another thing that's weird bringing up is that Setsuna has never had to deal with this at all, and supposedly this is because her memories have been wiped. Somehow it makes it so whenever there is a new moon or a new moon doesn't appear, it doesn't seem to affect her and transform her into just a normal human. And besides, what would happen to her anyway? Would her hair just turn the opposite color? Would it become white or even more blacker if that's even possible? That's actually what ends up happening to Towa. She ends up getting weakened, turning into a regular human, and her hair transforms black, just like Inuyasha in the original series. And it inexplicably starts to grow a little too, and when it turns back to normal, it gets short and white again. I'm not going to question it. This is a show that has some really weird shit going on in it, but it's interesting. And I have to say, I don't like Towa with black hair. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm just so used to actually seeing her with her white hair, but it was kind of weird looking in this episode. I just couldn't put my finger on it. And Moroha is not affected at all, considering that her father's a half-demon and her mother's human, so she's a quarter-demon. She doesn't even have to worry about that stuff, which honestly seems like exactly what you want in terms of having those powers. The best of both worlds. Their enemy in this episode, Nico-sen, is pretty cool looking. Really just disturbing. Just a weird, twisted amalgamation of all types of creatures and human features, and he's creepy. He can have his head decapitated multiple times, and yet he can still manage to grow it back, and he does come across as something of a genuine threat. But everybody powers through at the end of the episode, the sun finally rises, Towa gets her abilities back, and she decides to ignite her demon lightsaber and kick his little demon ass. So what's the rundown on all three of these episodes? Like I said, I really wish I had the time to elaborate a little bit more on my thoughts on these episodes, but again, they're taking a lot of those lost concepts from the original Inuyasha manga series, and now they're bringing them to the forefront of Yashahime, and whether that's lazy or creative is kind of up to you, the viewer. I kind of like that we're at least getting some of those classic elements that never got their story told in the anime, and they're incorporating them into the current storyline here. It's like you're still getting that story, but you're getting it with a new, fresh coat of paint with a lot of brand new characters, and overall, the message still manages to be there while continuing to carry along the story of everything that's going on here with the Four Perils and Kiden Maru and everything else. If anything, it still had a lot of great character moments from all of the three main leads, and it's going to be a nice little catapult before we move into the next part of the story, which I think the preview for the next episode is honestly what got me the most excited. The return of Moroku, who has a completely brand new design. I can't wait to see what he's been up to all this time, and hopefully this will lead to scenes with all the other classic legacy characters, because man, they have just been holding back on that so much throughout this entire anime series. Otherwise, I thought all three of these episodes were okay. That's really my only thought with it. It doesn't carry a lot of that newness and excitement that I got from the beginning of Yashahime. Again, it's starting to feel a little bit more like classic Inuyasha, which I love for nostalgic reasons, but at the same time, I still want to see the series, do something completely brand new and something to distinguish itself from the original Inuyasha manga and anime series. It looks like the next episode is certainly going to be going in that direction, and I'm excited for that. I just want to see more new stuff. That being said, there's a lot of entertainment to be had from all three of these episodes, and I highly recommend that you check all of them out. The first two that I didn't get a chance to review, I'd say those are 3 out of 5s. The most recent one, however, I think is a 4 out of 5. I thought it was remarkably fascinating, and it was great to bring back in that element of what happens on a new moon between these half-demons, and of course that Setsuna doesn't lose her powers. Again, you can also see that the relationship between Setsuna and Towa is steadily, slowly but surely starting to grow with one another, which I think is great. And again, Moroha continues to be one of the highlights of the entire series. So Inuyasha fans, Yashahime fans, continue to check this stuff out. But most importantly, the main reason I like making these reviews is not just giving my thoughts, but it's hearing from you guys. And I would love to hear all of them in the comment section below, telling me what you thought about all 3 of these episodes of Yashahime and what you hope to see from the future of the series. So thank you guys so much for watching this review. Please make sure to give it a thumbs up if you did like the video. Subscribe to the channel for more stuff like this. I'd also like to take this time to thank all of my patrons. You guys are awesome! I cannot thank you enough for all of the great donations that you're making. Remember, first-time donators, I will review an anime series of your choice. I do have at least one more coming up towards the end of the year, so make sure to stay tuned for that. I would also love to add your name to this list of all these amazing people, the producers of Ace Guru. So thank you guys so much for watching this review. I'll see you all next time, and as always, stay down there, baby.